supporters. Get into a oddball question. Don't get offended by it. What do you think about the anti-abortion thing and the new health care bill coming out of Congress? Students all laughed.
I think I agree with the president that we should keep the status quo and not make this an abortion bill, but make it a health care bill, and then we can we can talk about abortion on its own and come to a conclusion about that. But we should keep this in a health care bill, and whatever the status quo is now in the country, we should keep that, because we haven't had a conversation to change it. So I don't like the amendment that is taking some rights away, because that's changing the status quo. And I thought that the president was very smart about that, because he's liberal, and so it's kind of surprising for him to go, well, we have to maintain the status quo. I was just like, you're so smart, you are so smart. Oh, right on, yeah. Boy, that was a lake of fire. What's up?
Question. You do a great job as the narrator of the Dresden File audiobooks. Do we have any hope of maybe actually seeing you as Harry Dresden, or is that just a pipe dream?
I think I'm too short, man. Seriously, Harry is like 6'5", and it's kind of, in my mind, it's important.
Give your lips.
Or just cast Sarah again. I remember people used to think I was 6'4". They'd be like, you look like Spike, but shorter. I feel like internally I could play that character really easily. I feel like I'm always kind of in a grouchy mood myself, or I often am. But I think that character needs to be tall. So I don't know. I think they would make great movies though. They've got all the stuff is in there.
But in the series they didn't cast. Harry was the only one they cast the type.
Really?
They changed everybody else completely.
Bob's skull is just a guy sitting in a chair.
Yeah, it was a ghost. A ghost, yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Such a cool, yeah.
He was doing good in
But
Thomas.
because they originally did the skull like on fire kind of deal, it looked a little bit too much like what was that movie? Ghost Rider.
Oh,
Ghost Rider.
Ghost Rider.
Yeah,
Oh, so be it. It's better than some old guy sitting in a chair. Yeah.
You seem to have pretty diverse tastes, sort of Star Wars to Shakespeare. So I was just wondering, what are your favorites in terms of books, movies, and TVs? What are some things that really affected you?
My favorite recent book of fiction is the Neil Gaiman book, Gods in America. I thought that was really one of the best fictions I've read in a long time. I normally read nonfiction though. What's the best one I've read? There's a really interesting book called, maybe I shouldn't get it. Is everyone okay that I'm a bleeding heart liberal?
Yeah.
Okay. It was written by John Dean, who was in the Watergate scandal, who worked for Nixon, and his mentor was the father of the conservative movement. What's the guy's name? I forget the guy's name. It'll come to me. But he asked himself, why, when you talk to a conservative and you ask them what their philosophy is, why can they not answer you? And he went to his teacher, and they started exploring, and so the whole book is kind of about that, about how is it that the same percentage that elected Hitler, which is 33, it seems to be where conservative politicians bottom out. Like they always have at least 25 to 30% of the public, no matter what they do, on board with their plan. And the conclusion of the book was really horrifying. The conclusion of the book was that it doesn't matter what the economic situation is, that about a quarter of the population is not thinking well enough to vote. And I came away from that book thinking, okay, the lesson from this book is the left cannot split. The left has to hold together because we are the majority. But if we split in half, that 25% can get into office. So, and that's what happened with the first Bush election. It was Nader. The left split, and we got George. So, hold together, big tent. Hold together. We're an obnoxious group, we liberals, and we all have our own little plan about how to save the universe. But we've got to stick together, or else the fools are going to rule the country.
Red Dog Democrats.
What's that?
Now with the Lincoln Shady and the Red Dog Democrats.
You know what? If I was Barack Obama, I would take a little thing called the Democratic Platform, down to the Congress, and I say, you call yourself a Democrat, you have to agree with health care, choice for women, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. These are the things we've been fighting for like 50 years here. And if you're not on board with this stuff, get the hell out of my party. I'm gonna find a candidate to run against you in your district, and I'm gonna go there personally and make sure that they win.
That's the one good thing Republicans do. When they get what they want to get
Yeah,
done,
I know. They
go, kick butt, and get a majority going.
They're really good at falling in line, man. Yeah. They're good at scaring each other. Yeah, what's up? I'm defending somebody.
Doing the musical episode of Buffy, One Form of Healing.
It was absolutely wonderful. You know, I was never more proud of my castmates than when we did that. Because the thing is that Joss did something really messed up. He really was asking a cast that did drama fairly well and comedy fairly well, and asked them to be musical theater actors. And the amount of egg that was going to be splattered all over our faces if it didn't come off was just going to be enormous. So the only two people that were comfortable with the idea was me and Tony Head, because we were already singing profession, and we were kind of like, oh, sounds like fun. But for the rest of them, it was really scary. And everyone tried to get out of it. Everyone personally went to Joss on their, crying, please don't do this to me, you're going to ruin my career, please. And Joss, kept, no, go to work. At some point everyone realized this really was going to happen, at which point everyone knuckled down and did the homework and was ready. And it was like in the beginning of filming, we were just like being led to our deaths, and then the first scene that Josh shot was the dance scene with Xander, and it was so good. And so he shot that, and he did a rough cut, and he brought it down to the stage, and he showed it to us. And the cast went from absolute despair to such hope and pride, and like, this is really going to work, and to the point where the episode after that was Tabula Rasa, which is, in hindsight, one of my favorite episodes, but filming it was boring. It's like, where's the music cue, man? Yeah, it was, and I was so proud, especially of Sarah. There was no one who had more work to do and more to lose than she. And she got 2 vocal coaches. Yeah, it was like right on Sarah. Yeah, I'm trying to pass it around to people. I haven't got feelers on.
You have been in so many franchises. Do you have any interest in reading Star Trek?
Yeah, I think it's a really good treatment. But I have my own idea for Star Trek. I have my own series in my head. It would be the very, very, very first ship, right when warp drive is invented, right at the end of the Third World War, when everyone's not trusting each other. My main character, the captain of the ship, his dad got assassinated by Muslims when he was trying to make peace. And he got shot in the head on national television when the kid was 5 years old. He saw it live. So the main character firmly believes that if you stick your neck out and try to help people and try to save the world, you will die, and it's useless to even try. And he has a crew that is spying on each other, that doesn't trust each other. They're from all different countries, but these countries are just recently out of war with each other, and they're there to spy on each other. So. And like they hit the warp drive the first time, and they get out there, and none of the stars match any of the maps they have, and they're lost. And the first season is running away, trying to get back to Earth, and they're all scared of the Vulcans, because the Vulcans are very, very, very scary, and they look like the devil. And in fact, the Vulcans are just like, well, they're kind of immature, but we'll help them. Every time they see the Vulcans, oh no, the Vulcans! Yeah, so kind of an anti-Star Trek. As opposed to Earth has figured itself out and is now exporting this wonderful philosophy throughout the galaxy, it's the exact opposite. Yeah. I thought it would be interesting. What's up?